Founder and creative director Anthony Telford of Creativity Lives Under Excellence, also known as Clue, is a streetwear brand that came to life in 2013. It has climbed up the ranks in hypebeast culture with many of its iconic and nostalgic pieces over the years. Join me as we take a closer look into his story to unlock the hidden gems and everyday inspirations. Here's Off the Cuff with Anthony Telford. You remember the first launch of Clue?
Yeah, bro.
Let's talk about that.
So originally, I didn't really start Clue to be a brand. I just was on my young stuff like, I don't want to wear anything that no one has on, which is impossible, like looking at it now. But it was one day I was drunk, because I used to draw a bit, and it was one day I was feeding my cat, and I saw like a paw print.
Feeding your cat?
Yeah, bro. I had like a paw print, and I'm like, oh, this might look nice on the sweater or something, so I'm gonna see how it looks.
Right.
So I asked my parents to take me to a t-shirt shop. My first sweater was black and like an electric blue to match the foam posits that came out. And then I made a black and gray sweater. I forgot what sneakers I made it for, but they're both puff print. It was like some puff print. I didn't really know what it was at the time. I was just like, yo, this feels fire, so I'm gonna try it.
And how old were you when you were doing this?
So this was in 2011, so 14.
Wow.
Yeah, I was 14. So originally it was just like, I was in ninth grade. Well, yeah, I was in ninth grade. I'm thinking to myself like, I don't want to wear anything anyone else has, so I'm gonna make this. I made it, I wore it to school, and people were like, yo, bro, you got that sweater from?
Word?
So me, I'm in my head like, shoot, I probably should make a little money off of this.
Yeah.
So I went to my parents, I'm like, yo, I want to start a clothing line. My parents like, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
I'm like, I know I like fashion, I like business. So I'm like, why not merge two of my passions and just, see where I could go with it. So they was like, yo, we'll give you money for it. You just gotta write a business plan. Wrote like I don't remember how it looked, but it was really just like projections and numbers and stuff like that. And then I gave it to them. They gave me like 500, and then that's like the birth of Clue.
Wow.
And I had the pictures that I showed you.
Yeah.
Those were like my first beginning. I would say I probably launched it like a year after, but I was making like
to the
tees.
full market?
Yeah, like tees and hoodies and stuff like that.
Okay.
And yeah, that's when I started.
So I'm curious to know, why did you start with that sweater first as a piece to show and wear?
Honestly, I just thought I really was making a sweater to match a pair of sneakers.
Okay.
The color was so off. Like I couldn't find a shirt to match it. So I'm like,
that is also very true, because in high school you used to wear the top and you always had to reflect it with the shoes.
Yeah.
And especially with bright colors, it's so hard to find certain things.
and I had uniform.
Oh,
So my uniform is black and white. And I'm like, yo, this sweater is black. The logo goes with the sneakers. I could wear this to school. Perfect. So that was my aim originally. And then people were jacking it. So I was like, let me mass produce these joints.
There you go. And what high school did you go to?
I went to Erasmus for middle school and high school.
And how was that experience for you, just walking through the halls and you feeling like you were gravitating, like people gravitated to you with the sweater on?
Even was different. It was different. I went there for middle school and high school, but like I was considered in like the smarter school because they allowed us to take college classes.
Okay.
But Erasmus was bad. It was bad, but I wouldn't trade it for any other experience. Like I feel like going to that school kind of molded me into who I am now. Having to travel from Brownsville to Flatbush every day. It's a lot of territories you got to go through for me to make sure that you get your education. Because my parents wasn't hearing that.
Wow.
I had to get on the bus in the morning. Had to iron my clothes in the morning to get there. And I was making sure that I played gym in the morning, so I was getting there before 8, for a fact. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit more about just the mindset. You say you wouldn't change it for the world. What did just the entire experience show you?
It just showed me to never like let your environment dictate how you want to project your life, because technically where I'm from, I'm not necessarily supposed to be a college graduate, not supposed to be a wasn't supposed to get my bachelor's, master's, make it past 21 or stuff like that.
Right.
Because I'm considered in like one of the worst neighborhoods in Brooklyn or in the city. So it's like growing up around there, you see stuff, you experience things, but if you got a strong mental, I feel like making it out of there, you can make it anywhere, literally. So that's just always why I kept it. And I never not to say like I was in the streets and none of that, but I seen that stuff because you're forced to see it, like being an inner city kid. So I just feel like that molded me into who I am.
That's beautiful.
Just make sure that I never like get complacent or where I am. Just know that it's much more to life than Brooklyn or New York. Like,
right. And I mean, like you said, just there's more to life, and also you've been exposed to more to life just even by launching your brand. Like I'm sure you got people from all over the world supporting you and stuff, which is a blessing. And it's funny to know that it started with the cat, with the paw of the cat. And so it's like, you know, I'm just slap this on a sweater. But in addition to that, where do you get your inspiration to create?
So, I mean, I have a lot of outlets, I say, but one of the fashion designers I say that inspired me the most is Ronnie Fig. I feel like he's like on another level, bro. Yeah. His marketing campaigns, the way he designs stuff, I just feel like there's not a lot of people in the game messing with him. Right. And I feel like Ralph Lauren is another one too. Because it's like, he's from New York. Yeah. And he's literally a billionaire from clothing. I mean, he has so many aspects to his brand. And that's kind of eventually where, like, I see myself if, you know, I continue to grow. As I continue to grow, I want to venture into different things, not just be creativity, the clothing line. I want to be creativity, the community helper, creativity, home, wherever it takes me, I want to be able to embody more than just clothing. You know? Absolutely. I feel like all successful brands kind of transition from just dropping merch into doing things that either helping the community or giving people more of an emotional feel to their brand. Right. Those are like, that's my ultimate goal, but that's where I get the motivation from, because I feel like those brands, they mastered that art. Absolutely. Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned Ronnie though, because when Ronnie first launched his brand, it was just his name. Yes. And then he transitioned into a staple thing where it's now Kith. You know, it's funny because I was watching a few of his interviews just to give me the inspiration for this interview today, and being able to craft questions around different topics, different designers, and making sure that I'm correlating in the best way possible. But for you, there's so many variations to it, right? You have creativity. You have, I've seen the logos in a circle. You have the C, you know what I'm saying, the creativity in the clue. You have the clue coming across like I have now, you know what I'm saying, one of one. Yeah, that's a fact. See, nobody else don't have that. For sure. Tell me about just the name overall, and where did it come to life, or how did it come to life? So, honestly, Clue didn't always have the abbreviation. Like, at one point, it was just Clue. So, like, when I was in high school, people would ask me, like, yo, where did you get Clue from? I'm like, yo, bro, I don't even know my damn self. You know? So, I'm like, yeah, we have to figure out something, like, to stick, like, abbreviation or meaning to the brand that'll blast. Like, when you hear it, you're like, oh, that has a ring to it. Like, I could relate to that. And that's where Creativity Lives Under Excellence came about. And I feel like it's an open interpretation for anyone. Like, you just, I wanted it to be that way because I want people to be able to express themselves and be able to interpret my brand for how they want it to be. Absolutely. Because it can mean so many things. Right. Creativity can mean something different for everybody, and excellence is literally different for everyone as well. So that's why I kind of merged the two. Absolutely. And then when you have like these articles of clothing on people, like, how do you want people to feel when they have it on? I want you to feel like the man when you put these clothes on. Like, that's the goal, but I want it to be able to fit anyone's style. So even if you're a loud dresser or someone that likes some more subtle things, I want it to be able to fit both spectrums. Like, that's my ultimate goal. I don't want it to just be like an urban brand where only one audience can wear it. I want everyone to be and feel included and feel that way in the brand. Absolutely. And like you mentioned a few staple brands already, like Ralph's, the Ronnies of the world. And they make such a variety of clothing for literally everybody, right? Really. So my question to you is, you know, looking at these high brands, of course you got New Balance on, you got Gucci, you got a few others on now.
when you look at the industry that you're in, which is streetwear, right? What brand would you love to collaborate with?
Amy.
Amy, okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. Why?
Bro, they closed there. It's simple, but it just hits. Like, I can't explain it. I love their marketing campaign, and I like the way that they choose their models, the way they go about things, and I feel like their clothing the quality is fire, and I don't think anyone in the game is on their level with the lane that they're in.
That's beautiful. Do you know what you would create with them?
I would want to make a jacket.
Okay, like a varsity,
a trench coat.
Trench coat.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
So they have this patchwork trench coat that they released for this season.
Okay.
Fire.
Wow.
I could see myself making something like a trench coat, not necessarily a patchwork one, but I could see a fire collab with us with that. Like, that would be a dream for me. Them or Kith.
Kith, okay.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
One of those two.
And translating with those, right? I know we got a few staple jackets here as well. We'll definitely touch into that. But more recently, you had a big moment for Clue.
Yeah.
You had Dave East rocking some drip, the varsity, the sweatsuit. Tell me about that experience. How did that make you feel?
It was fire to see, bro. Like, I really mess with Dave East's music, so seeing somebody that I listen to in the rap game actually have items on is like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, almost 8-9 years later, like, I'm kind of seeing, some of the benefits, or seeing my dream come to life almost. Not saying that I made it or anything, but it's just a milestone of mine. Like, I always wanted to see somebody on a big stage wear Clue and actually like it.
That's beautiful.
Like, seeing him wear the stuff back to back showed me that he actually liked this stuff.
Yeah, and he tagged the brand, he looked at you and all that stuff, which is a huge moment for just the brand, and I want to congratulate you for that.
Appreciate you.
So we talked about fashion, but I want to take a step outside really quick just to learn more. Who are some of those people outside of fashion that had a big influence on you?
So, I definitely want to say my grandparents on both sides. I'll start with them and then go down the list. So all of them coming from my grandparents on my mom's side from Haiti, and then on my dad's side from Guyana. My grandfather on my dad's side, they had 11 kids. Wow. So, when they come from these third world countries, they don't live the same way we do here. So that goes back to why I remain so humble, because I can't ever forget where my family came from. Like, 11 of them in a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, small little house, having to go fetch water, having to go get rice from different towns, all that stuff. Stuff like that just keeps me motivated, because I know my grandparents they came to America and they put basically all their kids through college. And that's like a dream almost, so knowing that my grandfather could come from literally a situation where, and my grandmother on my dad's side, they came from a situation where you're not supposed to even do as much as I did in America. Now they own property, rest in peace to my grandfather, but they own property over here. All of their kids are doing pretty well for themselves. They have grandkids, great-grandkids. It's crazy.
Wow.
And then on my mother's side is the same thing. Both of my grandparents coming from Haiti made a good life for all of their kids went to college, graduated with their masters, and my aunt is a pharmacist.
Look at that.
They're all doing really well. So that motivates me and inspires me to I want to give back to them, for putting me in position to win. I want to be able to have my parents not work. I want my aunts and uncles not to work.
Absolutely.
I want to be able to do that. And I know it may sound like a heavy burden to put on your back, but I feel like all the support that they've given me, I feel like that's the least I could do,
Absolutely.
And I don't want to think about it in a repayment thing. I just want to do it in the kindness of my heart and just how I am. I really want to give back to my family because they always support me, And that keeps me going. Like, it's days like, damn, I don't feel like doing this right now.
Right.
But the sleepless nights is all worth it in the end. Like, you know, bro.
Right.
'Cause you definitely don't sleep either.
Yeah, I don't. You
Working,
can probably tell right now. But
yeah, bro, for me, but it's worth the grind. Like, all of the
Absolutely.
grind, you see the results. Like, the more work you put in, you see the results.
Yeah.
And they inspire me and they keep me going every day, literally.
Absolutely, man. And that's a blessing that you have that strong element of push to keep you going, especially in times where you feel like you may be having creator's block, or may not want to get up the next morning. Or like you said, tireless nights that, you got to get up the next morning within a couple hours and keep it pushing. But for your family, who may be tuning in today, right? Who may be watching this, what would you want to share with them?
I definitely want to share with them that I appreciate them for everything that they've done for me and are continuously doing for me. Like, my family are my biggest supporters. Like, my cousins, we're close like brothers and sisters, so I throw something in a group chat, like, yo, this sample, like they see all of this stuff before I show anybody.
Wow.
And they like, yo, bro, that's fire, I need that. They always support me, they buy stuff, they come to my events, they comment, they share, they do everything. Like, yo,
Beautiful.
I'm so proud of you, bro. You doing this, you doing that. But literally, they're the reason why I'm doing all of this stuff. You feel me? So I just gotta. That's what I want to tell them. Like, my grandmother, I definitely want you to watch this, both of y'all. But I just hope I'm making y'all proud. You feel me? That's
Absolutely.
my biggest motivation, is making sure that you guys are proud of me and making sure that I'm doing things to ensure us to have a better future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And let's shift a little bit. You mentioned your family, but I want to focus a little bit on your grandfather. What would you say to him?
I definitely would say, while you're not here right now, I wish you were here. But that would be selfish of me, of course, because for me, he was suffering while he was here. So I just would ask him if he's proud of me, or if he's happy with the movements I've been making. And I just wish he'd be able to see everything going on, Like, a lot of my cousins and I, we're getting older, we do better. But it's like, you don't ever forget, you feel me, the people that, like you said, inspired you. So, like, everything I do, I think about my grandfather. Literally everything. And it's been 7 years now.
Wow.
8 years in May 2021. It's just crazy how fast time goes without you realizing, like, time doesn't stop, but the pain is still there.
Yeah, it was there, yeah.
But I hope I'm making him proud. And I just wish I could talk to him at least one more time to, like, just chop it up about every single thing that has gone on since he left.
Wow, look at that. That's beautiful, man, and I thank you for sharing that.
Appreciate that, bro.
But also, I think I want to address that I'm sure he's more than proud of you.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? And I think just being able to capture those moments and see the growth and having those significant pieces, from the varsities, from the movements you've been making, from the new creativity, merch and collections that are coming and, future coming. I think he's more than proud of you for continuing to navigate your passion. Because sometimes the hardest thing to really navigate in this world is finding who you really are.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're doing it now. And you're doing it with so much momentum and so much intention. And I think the humbleness in you is always going to allow you to really thrive, especially with the brand. So I hope people continue to really push forward the brand, more so of less about the article of clothing, but more so of the messaging.
Yeah, bro.
So I appreciate you sharing
bro.
that. And Clue doesn't necessarily only
Got it with me all the time, too.
There you go. That's beautiful. Clue doesn't only support, its customers, but it also supports incoming college students as well. You got the Creativity Scholarship Fund, right?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
So originally, how it started was my best friend passed December 4th, 2016. Oddly, it being December 4th. But
Wow.
So we did a scholarship. We started it kind of like immediately. Like we had a basketball tournament to raise funds for him January of 2017. So we did it. We awarded money to 2 high school students, but after that we kind of like always had it in the air, but we kind of fell back on it. Not for any reasons, but it's just timing. It wasn't the right time. So this summer I was like, especially amongst all of this stuff going on with blacks and us not getting treated equally, it's been an ongoing thing, but I feel like I have a platform and the means to do it now, to actually fund the scholarship without having to necessarily raise money. And like whatever money I did try to raise, whatever I got, still there waiting, because I have to move forward with the scholarship now. But I just always want to give back to kids that are in situations not as fortunate as me. I was able to go to a high school that offers certain things, or even go to college, and my parents were able to help me, but not everyone has the opportunity in college. So whether it's like, even though it may just be like $1,000, but I want it to be something that could help them with books, food, whatever. Because it's nights when you're in college, you're like, damn, I got like $10, bro, for the week. What I'm gonna do?
For the week, yeah.
What I'm gonna do, bro? But I just want to be able to help kids in those situations. And of course, I want to make it bigger, but with time, that'll happen.
Absolutely. You're a good dude, and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? The giving back, the paying it forward. Like I always like to say.
That's your phrase, bro.
Yeah.
You might have to get that tatted, bro, for real.
Man, that's a blessing. And for the kids and for the even upcoming designers who may be tuning in today, who look to you as an inspiration, what advice would you share with them?
Don't ever give up on your dreams. I may have said this many times, but just don't ever stop. Like, I never would have thought that I would be like this far on my brand. Forget the financial part of it. It's just like the reach is more important to me than anything. Like being able to affect that many people, or having that many people see my vision and what I eventually want to do with the brand is a blessing. Like, so it may seem like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but as long as you keep pushing forward, you're gonna eventually get there. Consistency beats everything.
Absolutely. Amen to that. And for all your supporters who've supported Clue, you know, throughout the years, and who still continue to support Clue now, what would you want to share with them?
I wouldn't be here without y'all. Y'all continue. Y'all push me even when I didn't want to do it at points. Like, yo, bro, when is this coming out? When is that coming out? I'm telling y'all, yo, soon.
Yeah.
Knowing that it may not be coming soon, just because at that point in time, my mind wasn't on Clue all the way. So just knowing that people didn't forget the brand because I stopped meant a lot to me. No, it showed me that I have a genuine like support system.
Absolutely.
And I just appreciate everybody for that. Like even y'all, you gotta get what you doing. Hey, you playing with Clue, bro. You don't want it, bro. You don't want it. I'm like, yo, I gotta lock in, bro. I'm like, yeah, it's been like a few years since I dropped consistently.
Yeah.
And y'all got me there, literally.
I look at that, man. You've been soaring. So I'm glad the battery's in your back now, because
It's
you're fully
it's
charged.
cemented in there. Bro.
You know what I'm saying? You fully charged. But Ant, again, man, you're a great, humble dude, and I really appreciate you for being on the show. You know, I learned so much about you, and I'm sure for the people who are tuning in today, they actually get to know more about the Clue story, you know, more about Ant. And I think that's such a phenomenal thing for not only the brand in itself, for you, but you as a human being, because, you know, people really support the messaging. And I appreciate that so much. So I wish you all the best, ongoing success, and everything that's, you know, all the blessings that have to come to you. So I'm looking forward to many more wins with you, man.
Appreciate you for even having me, bro.
Absolutely.
It's an honor, for real. Like, we talked about this show for a while, and seeing you doing this now it's amazing, bro.
I appreciate that. But before you go, and we fully wrap up, I'm incorporating a new segment onto the show. It's called the Hidden Gems, right? And I'm gonna ask you a variety of questions.
Okay.
All you have to do is answer as fast as you can within 30 seconds.
I bet.
Straight off the cuff.
All right.
All right?
All right.
You ready?
30 seconds each
30
question.
seconds. No, 30 seconds in
For
total.
all questions.
Yeah, all questions.
I bet.
as fast as you can, whatever comes to mind, straight off the
Rapid
cuff.
fire.
Rapid fire. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set my timer on right now, and we are gonna roll.
Interested to see how this gonna go. Right?
Yeah. Right. Cool. So we got the clock. Let me just make sure. Cool. Ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Supreme or Bape?
Supreme.
Kith or Amy?
Kid.
Favorite kicks of all time?
Cool Grade 11s.
Book you would recommend?
4 Agreements.
Who would you have your last meal with?
My grandfather.
Favorite place you travel to?
Jamaica was my favorite so far.
Who would you want to help you on your next collection? Kanye or Virgil?
Kanye.
Who are you most inspired by?
My family.
And again, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you so much just for being so transparent. Just for being yourself, of course, and for always remaining humble. So, thank you so much. Again, I wish you all the best with Clue, and to many more wins together, man.
Yeah, bro. Collab soon.
Absolutely.
Collab soon.
Coming
Collab soon. Collab soon.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Collab soon.
And that was Off the Cuff with Anthony Telford. Thank you guys for all tuning in. Until next time.